YouTube. EQ pedals. I'm always saying that I never have any pedals, I never use them. Blah 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 blah. Yeah. So I've got an EQ pedal which I'm not yet decided to buy. There's not really any prizes for guessing how much I might be paying for it. I've actually borrowed it from Blitzkrieg shop. I saw it they've got a glass display case. It's actually got quite a few pedals in there and they're quite cheap. He's got a few of the ones I've got. He's got the US Dream and the Pi twin notes sitting there cheap if you're in the region looking for the Malco sound, because I use them all the time. I saw this 6-band equalizer and I have actually looked it up. I wasn't sure what make it was. It's a Joyo, or I assume if I peel off the price label it'll be a Joyo, because I looked them up on eBay to see what it was I had. So for this I'm using the wee PV Valve King Royal 8 amp, because that was my pal Scott's app. Oh, a wee amp like that, there's no EQ on it. Well, it's got a tone control, so you just need an EQ pedal. And I was kind of looking at them. There's a lot of people like the sort of main one you would basically go for is the Behringer one, which is basically it's a copy of a Boss. I looked it up. I think they're only about 20 quid, so it's pretty much the same sort of price as actually buying this one. The thing that people complain about that is it's a 7-band one, so it's got all the bands are exactly the same as this, apart from it's got another higher band. I can't remember. The highest one on this is a 3.2K. I think it's got a 6 something K one. Actually, what does the bass amp go up to? It's got an 8K on it. Okay, so it doesn't have the super high end thing. The thing that I've always I keep seeing about the Behringer one, which is what everyone always talks about with these things. Apparently there's not like a center notch on the sliders, which this one does have a center notch. The Behringer one's also got like an overall output, like this bass amp has that, where you've got like you can set your EQ and then you've got like whether you're boosting or cutting, like an overall volume control for it. Whereas that one doesn't. So that's like this. So basically, if you've got your EQ shape and you want it a bit louder, you just push all of the sliders up the same amount, as opposed to having like an actual overall volume thing, which I think would probably be a really good thing to have that, and you could just kind of use it as a flat boost. I don't know if you can really see, but it's not on. I was going to say the wee there's like wee LEDs on the end of the thing, so it lights up a bit. It's running on a battery just now. I actually tried to do a thing with this last on the live stream on Sunday night, because the battery was so nearly dead in it when you actually turned it on. I actually don't actually know if it works yet. This is it running off another battery, but the battery that was in it, I had to take the back off to get the battery out because it was pure wedged, and I think it's got absolutely no power. When you stick it in your tongue, there was nothing in it. Whereas when I tried to turn it on last week, it just kind of went doing this crazy. I don't know what it sounded like something out of Doctor Who, basically. But the battery's now completely dead. So I think if the battery's totally almost get one last little gasp in it, it does crazy things. So really, I'm using my Schockenberg guitar, because if any guitar needs an EQ, it's a single pickup with just a volume control. Going into an amp that's it's got gain and master and a tone. I've just put the tone at 12 o'clock. I did have the volume and the gain at 12 o'clock, but that was the volume I was using it at in the band. You'll play along with the drum kit. So this is really just I don't know whether I was going to say, do you need an EQ pedal? It's not really do you need an EQ pedal, it's do I really need or want an EQ pedal. I'm just going to mess about with it and see what it does. I was going to just stick the EQ pedal straight into the front of the wee amp, but then I don't have the loop pedal and all that, so all the other stuff's kind of, it's going through like 5 true bypass things. So I mean, yeah, okay, it's going to degrade the sound a bit. It would obviously be better going straight in, but having the loop pedal's too handy. So there we are, currently at running the gains at 3 and the masters at less than that. So the gain's at about 1/4 and the master's at less than 1/4. And I'm actually using the 3x12 cabinet on the floor there rather than the internal speaker, giving it the best chance I can. Try the other pickup. Oh, there aren't any. So just have a wee mess about and see. That would actually. would argue that is doing something. They're maybe not quite super accurate when they're actually in the notch. I would definitely say that was doing something. Definitely a bit more brightness to it. I suppose that what it's doing there is probably acting like a sort of buffer, really, rather than it, so it's like instead of just going straight through it, it's actually buffering it, keeping it at line level. So that's probably the difference between having like a buffer in there and not having a buffer in there when you've got it set flat. So I don't know, do you go for a sort of smiley face to people like that? Kinda sounded like an acoustic. I mean, I'm not an EQ master, but I watched my pal Scott do it because he did sound for bands and stuff. He's like, whoa, he can listen to it and know exactly what the EQ's doing. I kind of just mess about with the knobs. As opposed to... Well, I wonder, can I make it sound like a... I've only got a bridge pickup, so can I make it sound like a neck pickup? But I suppose I would be boosting the bassy things a bit, maybe. Take away the treble a bit. Louder's better. I'm already suffering from the too many options thing a little bit. So 400's an important one. As is 800s. What does the 1K6 do? I think I might be overloading the mic. I'll see what happens when I play it back. I think what I might do is I might turn the volume of the amp down even more. So it doesn't distort the mic the same way. What about the high one? What does it do? You take that away. I don't know, kind of. They all do a fair bit, don't they? What about the lowest one? 200. It really goes to show you kind of need all the frequencies, don't you, really, to make it sound like a guitar? That's kind of making it sound a bit more like a neck pickup, though, I think. think this. I mean, I would have thought before. I was talking to my pal about this before. See if you had like a Telecaster, and you wanted it to sound like a Les Paul. I think with an EQ pedal you can kind of sort of do that, or vice versa, or anything like that. And maybe, I suppose, if you had it in front of a fuzz pedals, it could make a big difference to what a fuzz pedal's doing. I suppose I'll put on a fuzz pedal and see what happens. So if I put on the Delamo one, it's really thin. I think maybe have that after the pedal actually. I don't know. I'm just messing about with this now. I'm just trying faffing about with it. Turn off the fuzz pedal. I can kind of handle a tone control, but that's kind of it. See, the thing again there I'm saying about the fact it doesn't have a master volume control. That sounds better, but is that just because it's louder? So maybe if I just kind of make everything. I'm just trying to make the volume the same. I don't know. It's hard to. You kind of. You hump the middle up a bit. Does that make it sound a bit like a tube screamer? I'll tell you what, I'll stick in a backing track. Oh! We have no sound. Why do we have no sound? Sometimes this, the wee Moore pedal, you have to unplug it and plug it in again to sort of reboot it. Something's not on. What's not on? Why is it not going through this? I can actually hear it playing, so it's okay. Again, is it just because it's louder it's better? What was it would make it sound a bit like a... Right, well, basically, I don't think I'm going to bother with it. It's doing lots of stuff, but it's kind of, I'm overwhelmed by it. The same thing happens to me whenever I look at multi-effects units or anything that's got too many knobs. And obviously, when you mess with one, it makes the other ones do something different. I can see it as has a use. Like, see the way I had it set up there a little bit. So you've got your, when I was boosting up these ones, you've got like your sort of if you want a bit for a solo. You can get a bit more of the sort of neck pickup-y sound. So rather than switching onto the neck pickup, because this guitar doesn't have one, I could have it on a foot. I think it would be much easier to use if it had the other slider. You know, the one that I was talking about, the Behringer one having. Or the Boss one, which is a copy of, where you've actually got the slider on the end is just how much of a boost the overall pedal is, so you can make your shape and set whatever it is you like, but it's much louder than the sound I was using a minute ago, so you can just overall increase or overall decrease the sound of the pedal. I think that would be a really useful thing. But even then, it's only 20 quid, and it's like, I just don't think I would use it. Tony made the mistake, Blitzkrieg's up here. Oh, what? I was like, oh, it's interesting. Oh, kind of, crap. He was like, oh, do you want it? I was like, I don't know. It's up here. Well, tell you what, why don't you take it and have a shot of it and see if you like it, and then if you like it, I'm not taking any lower than that. Just fair enough. It's only 20 quid. And it's, but it's just and I don't even use the tone controls on the amp. Really, I mean, this one, the wee PV here has got a tone control. So I mean, what does it do actually? I'll up the gain. I'll make it a bit louder. So tone at nothing. Oh, sorry. Got the distortion pedal on. Not in my head. I'm not saying in any position that I am right to do it this way. It's kind of what I am. I wish I had to concentrate too much on what it is I'm playing. I'm still not playing the guitar very well. So this sort of things are just more distractions, which are actually taken away from me actually just physically learning stuff and trying to play. But it does mean, I suppose, in the situation you could be sitting there thinking, well, you've only got one guitar or two guitars. You've got like a humbuckery one and a Fender, like a Gibson-y and a Fender-y type thing. Maybe this would be an awful lot more use, whereas I've got just so many guitars that I like the fact that they all sound a little bit different. Even if it's a very similar layout. Like, I don't know. I suppose you could argue that's a sort of there's a Strat. There's two humbuckers. Okay, that's kind of a sort of Strat, but it doesn't really sound like a Strat. It sounds good, and equally good in different ways. I've just got lots of guitars to work through. That's what maybe if I was down to having. Maybe if I only had a couple of guitars, I would have more amps. But as it's sitting, really, I've got choice of two amps just now for playing in the house. The Softtech's there, but it's a gigging amp, so I don't really want to be using that in here. The PV and the Laney. The Laney sounds better because it's much more expensive, so it sounds more expensive. But they do sound different, and I do think that does have a value to it. And there's something, I know it's not right. It's morally corrupt, but there's something I like about the idea of just plugging in, straight into the amp with a lead. That's actually made quite a big difference not going through all that pedals, isn't it? We'll turn the volume down and the gain up to full. For me, that's the sound I want. I just that's what I use it. But that's my gig rig. The last time I was in the studio a couple of times, it's like I do have a Morley wah wah pedal for one song, but I don't really. I'll need that for one song. It's a cover, so I never really use it for anything else. Kinda. It's just what I want. Maybe see if you were in a 2-guitar band. Or maybe even a Leonard Skinner, a 3-guitar band. One of these might make a big difference for cutting through the mix. Makes things different. And because in Cranking House, Nick on the bass is playing like an EBO, so he's like pure super low end. And basically, I've just got the entire frequency range between the cymbals and the EBO, and it's like I can really do whatever I want. I don't have to cut through any mixes. I can and because I've got so much room, I've got much more room to play a bit more jangly, and then dig in when I want to, but have it on the edge of that would be my clean. Then heavy. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's pretty much it decided. You can probably tell I'm not an actor. I'm no good at pushing ahead. It's like any review I ever do of a guitar, you can if it's a guitar I don't like and I think is rubbish, I won't say this is rubbish. Well, I maybe will. That one I had to smash up. But you kind of see it in my face. It's like I'm not a good actor, so it's like you can probably tell during that. It's like I'm kind of like there was a chance that I could have just gone. Oh, how have I managed to live my whole life without an EQ pedal? And it's not going to make any difference to me. It's tempting to because it's cheap. I mean, maybe I would have used it if I'd bought that kind of the start when I decided that I want to try buying pedals, because I bought a phaser pedal to start with because I think I'm going to try this pedal thing, see what goes about. So I bought a phaser because it's only got one knob, and I actually really enjoyed that. And saying that, I haven't used it probably in about 2 years since it was even turned on. It's plugged in, but it's in a special loop with all the other pedals I never used. So the phaser was quite good, and ended up buying Bellcat. A wee guy was selling 4 Bellcat pedals. I think it was 20 quid I paid for it. I got a compressor, a chorus, a tremolo, and a delay, and you didn't like any of them. You can tell I never use it. Occasionally you'll see me trying to use it, but after a couple of minutes I just get fed up with it. I just want I want a sort of that and a wee bit of a boost when you go up to full volume. I'm quite happy with it. I just want that. That's it really. And I suppose the way Scott was talking about the EQ thing is it's quite common if you've got like an amp that maybe doesn't sound the way you like, you can have it's like a sort of set and forget thing. You know, you've either got the choice of using it as a boost for solos or whatever, or you can basically just have it on all the time to make your amp sound the way you want it to start with. And even he was talking about you can put it into the effects loop, not on That amp you can't, it doesn't have an effects loop, but the wee Laney does. So you could just have it in there as a sort of standard, just a thing that's just on, so you can sculpt your sound. I'm just, I think my ears are maybe burst or something, or I'm just not, I'm not tuned in that way. Yeah, so, well, I managed to make that video half an hour long. Well done if you got this far through. Just, I don't know, maybe you'll hear something. I mean, I get no concept of what I was doing. I was just fidgeting with the sliders. And it's not for me. I think maybe, as I said, I keep talking about Scott. He's a sound guy. He's like, if you're playing different venues and stuff, maybe your amp won't sound the same. So you could maybe use that to make the amp sound the same as it does in your rehearsal studio or whatever it is. Because we're kind of in the same studio all the time, so I'm kind of used to it. And then you go to another studio and it's all different because your amp's a different place, there's different coverings on the walls and all that. Maybe that you could, if you were a wee bit cleverer with one of these, you could make it sound. So if you were doing a gig, a knowledgeable person with an EQ can probably just go, oh, listen to it and go, oh, there's too much 2K, so I'll probably just turn down a bit, or 3K, you don't have a 2K, you've got a 1K, so it's like, I just turn the 1K down a bit, and it'll be like, if you kind of knew what it was, just being a bit more clued in on it. I suppose it's the same as like a chef. You know what I mean? If you give me a pizza or give me like a tomato sauce that's on a pizza, I'll be like, yep, got tomatoes in it. Whereas like a proper chef will be like, basil and garlic, and you know they'll be able to run through all these things that are in there, which they're in there, make it taste nice. I don't know what it is that makes it sound like that though, or make it taste like that. Yeah, so bit of a failure on the graphic equalizer front, and I think the answer is no. Alco doesn't really want an EQ pedal, not yet. Maybe if I knew what I was doing, maybe once I've done some gigs with the band, done some recording and stuff like that, I can hear, oh, my guitar's not sounding quite right there. What is it? Because every time I go in, I'm just playing with whatever sound it is I've got. I don't have a set sound. I don't even have a set guitar. I think I'm going to take this in next week just to do it. I kind of like the idea. I like the idea of going in, especially, in fact, I'll take the wee PV in as well. I like the idea of having an amp. It's the simplest amp you can get because there's about 10 components in it, and having the simplest guitar you can get, it's only got one wire in it. And seeing what I can do with it. Yeah, so sorry for wasting 32 minutes of your time. Rock on.